Hello, I'm Steve. I've been selling some things on eBay, and it's come to the time where I have decided to part with my Star Trek action figure collection. Had them for years, they've been in the cupboard, rarely looked at them, surprised by how many I had, to be quite honest. There was lots of them I'd forgotten that I had. So I've put a few up. Um, I've sold a couple. Um, and having sold one for quite a large sum of money, seriously thinking now about taking my time listing them, doing a bit of research and finding out how much the individual figures are actually worth before I list them. Because I think I might have made one or two mistakes and maybe lost out on some opportunities. I thought I'd show you a small collection of what I have because I've got about 40 or 50 of them all together. I've got about 10 of them here, which I'd like to show you. These are sort of guest characters in the show, so some of them might be the ones that carry the value. And I'll show you one that I've just sold for quite a hefty sum, but perhaps not as hefty as it could have been. So what I'll start off with are these two Borg characters. Now I've got two. One of them is from this one. I think is from the original set of Star Trek action figures that came out in the UK in the early 1990s. This one is. All of them are still in their boxes and unopened. The plastic on this one has faded a little bit. It's gone a little bit yellow. I think it might have caught the sunlight a little bit. Um, but that's the original Borg, and then this other one came out a little bit later. Bit hazy about the dates at the moment. As I say, I need to do a bit of research. Not sure that there's a great deal of value in these. Maybe this one, the later one, more than the original one, which would have come out in quite large numbers, I suspect. But then, in addition to those, I've got another Borg character, who, if you're a fan of the show, will remember this one, Hugh Borg. Now, the Borg first appeared in a second season episode of Star Trek called Q Who, where Q, the omniscient being, flings the Enterprise into an uncharted area of space where they make first contact with the Borg, a cyborg group of aliens that basically assimilate humans. Well, you know the story. If you're watching this, you're probably a Star Trek fan anyway, so I don't need to tell you that really. And then, of course, the Borg featured quite heavily in The Best of Both Worlds, where Captain Picard himself is assimilated into the Borg collective and becomes Locutus. I have got the Locutus figure, not got it here with me at the minute, but perhaps I'll make another video and show that to you as well. Hugh Borg comes along a little bit later in an episode called Borg, where he has been separated from the collective, and during the course of the episode begins to regain his individuality. He appears again in a two-parter called Descent, season 6, I think, where he has been co-opted by Data's evil brother Law. An interesting episode. Um, for those of you who keep abreast of Star Trek, you'll know that Hugh Borg also appears in the latest Star Trek series, Picard, where he is on. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but basically, he's regained his individuality totally, and he's helping to de-assimilate other Borg. I think it's a great series. I know it's quite controversial, but I much prefer it to Discovery. It's a great series as Picard. If you haven't seen it, have a look. I think it's really good. Right, so who should we get to next? Right, so we've got a character called the Traveller. Hugh Borg, by the way, was played by an actor called Jonathan Del Arco. This guy here, the Traveller, was played by Eric Muniak. He appears in two episodes of Star Trek. A first season episode called Where No One Has Gone Before. Strike that out. Where No One Has Gone Before. and in a season 7 episode, I think, called Journey's End. So he's right at bookends, really, of the Star Trek The Next Generation series. He is described on the box as the mysterious interdimensional explorer of mind and space. And, well, I won't spoil it for you, but basically, he is kind of a mentor to Wesley Crusher. Okay, so that's that one. Not sure how much that will be worth, really. It's interesting because of the character, but it's not the most striking of designs, I think, for the costume and what have you. But there you go. Next one I want to show you is Vash. This is the character who becomes emotionally involved with Jean-Luc Picard himself. Played by Jennifer Henwick, appears in 3 episodes. Captain's Holiday, where Captain Picard, Captain Picard goes on holiday to the planet of Risa, where he meets Vash and becomes involved romantically and in a kind of adventure with her, really. She's an archaeologist or an antiquarian. Picard's got a strong interest in archaeology and has written about it. So they get on like a house on fire, as it were. And then the other 2 episodes is in a Q-pid, which is the Robin Hood-based holodeck adventure, and Q-less. Again, I don't know how much interest there'll be in that. I'll have to do some research on it. The next one, I think, is quite an interesting character, and it's this one, Mordock the Benzite. Now, he appears in a first season episode of The Next Generation, where he is, along with Wesley Crusher, he's a candidate for Starfleet Academy. And he passes his tests, whereas Wesley doesn't. Shock horror. Quite an interesting design to this. You'll see that he has a breathing device over his nose. Played by a guy called John Putch. He only has 1 appearance in the series, as far as I can remember, which is that first season episode. But later on, there is another Benzite character who I think might be played by the same actor, because apparently all Benzites look exactly alike. Not sure that's a good way to go for a series that generally is quite PC. But there you go. I think that's an interesting one. I think it could be quite a rare figure. I need to look that up and find out, quite frankly. And then the last one I want to show you is one that I've just sold, and I'll be posting it off today. It's actually been sold to somebody who lives not a million miles away from me, just sort of 10 or 15 miles down the road, I think. But I will be posting it to him. This is Daython, from the season 5 episode Darmok, played by the well-known actor Paul Winfield, who was also in Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. Darmok is Daython is a member of a species who communicate by metaphor. I could never really get my head around that concept, to be honest. It's an okay episode, but I do find it mentally a bit challenging. I don't think it's possible to communicate just by metaphor and illusion and allegory or whatever it is they're doing. Maybe that's just me. Maybe other people think that's a perfectly good way of going on. Upshot is, I sold this guy for £80. I was quite shocked to get that much for it, to be honest. But a little bit of research shows me that one in the past has sold for £200, and I know that there is one on there for £299. I thought that was a bit of a stretch. I'm not really in this to make a huge lot of money, really. I'm retired. I don't need to rely on reselling as a source of income. although it is proving to be giving me a bit of extra money, so that's all to the good, really. I'm not going to complain about it. For all I know, this could have fetched a lot more money. I'm not terribly upset about it. I'm really pleased to have sold it for what I have. But as you can see, there is quite a lot of value in some Star Trek merchandise. Not all of it. I've got other stuff up that is worth pennies, really, and some of it I've sold for not much more, or perhaps even less than I originally paid for it. This I will have paid somewhere between £5 and £10, I want to say, even though it is a minor character and therefore wouldn't have been made in great numbers. I don't think it cost me a great deal of money at the time. At the end of the day, I'm a mean bugger anyway. I know I wouldn't pay a lot of money for these things. I certainly wouldn't pay what this man has been willing to pay for it. I'm glad that he has. I certainly don't criticise him for it. If it means that much to him, I'm really glad that it's going to someone who's going to appreciate it. I have appreciated it in my way. It is a nice figure. But there are. There's money to be made in these things. I'll make some more. I'll show you some more of the characters. Won't waffle on too much about it. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, there will be more, so you could subscribe, you could hit the bell notification icon, and maybe I'll see you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.